haven't been able to shake this feeling. Every time I log into the game, I try again and again to chase it down. Most of the time I fail, but when it happens, it's pretty sick. What's up? I'm Habanero Sauce, and thank you for watching. Before I get started, I do want to point out that at the end of this video, I do have a special deal for those who lead organizations. If you'd like to hear what I have, please stick around to the end. I am not the best pilot. I'm a keyboard and mouse user. I have tried to train with the best of them, but back in 3.17, in the beginning-ish of March, we were approaching the end of that really long drought of no content from CIG. I pulled off a maneuver that I hadn't seen before. It has become my only ambition. I had just installed my 3070 Ti. I still had my headset mic. I had just logged in to try and see if my shaders would load in and all that sort of stuff. But someone decided to ram one of my buddies in an armistice at Grim Hex. He was unsuccessful, but he was committed to finish this kill. My buddy was in a Connie, but I was in an M50 with two size 2 NBDs. I really had no chance of doing anything to this A2 without anybody's help. Some of the people in the VC just told me that I should ram the person, but I don't ram. It's not my style. I have a little bit of self-respect, so I decided that I would just drill through the back shield and see what happened. I had a hunch that maybe just like in that famous Interstellar move, I could pull off a rendezvous and land inside of this man's ship even though it was moving. I was able to do it. I drilled through the shields, I opened up the back hatch, I landed inside, I climbed up the ladder, headed to the cockpit, and shot the pilot in the face, and the ship was mine. My heart was racing and my adrenaline was pumping. And so ever since, I have been pursuing this exact feeling. My buddies now call it the hobby maneuver, but even Void Dude has been able to pull off a similar feat with a Corsair and his hover bike. I talked to him about it and he shares my feeling. This is addictive. This is not my maneuver. This isn't something I own, and I would like to share it with you. Immediately after I did this, I went to the RSI pledge store and I bought the M50. And after the wipe of 3.18, I began my journey as a ship boarder. Right away, I noticed one need. The boarding ship cannot be built the same way as a dogfighter. Dogfighters are built for power and DPS, the ability to withstand the war of attrition while also dealing practical damage is key. That is not the case for a boarding ship. First, it needs to be small and it needs to be fast. I have found that the Merlin, Archimedes, M50, Razor, and Fury are all good ships. Second, it needs to be stealthed out as much as possible. This maneuver can't be done if the target knows you are there. To enhance this in the current patch, it is beneficial to remove even some shield generators and other useless components to bring down your EM signature. Remember, this is not your dog fighting ship. And lastly, you're going to want to run ballistics. You have some freedom here as to which ballistics you choose, but something that deals a lot of damage quickly is key. Ballistics, for a large part, ignore shields, and that will become crucial here in a second. What has been up on the screen up until this moment, I have caught on video. I recently upgraded my storage on my PC, but I was unable to capture just how many ships I was able to land in. If you want to see it more and you want to see it live, you should check me out on twitch.tv/habanerosauce. And we can do it together. Now here's the perfect scenario. What you are seeing now, I have to admit, was scripted by myself and my ragtag buddies. All of it was inspired by real events, but this way it was controlled and it was in a low population server, so we didn't run into many issues while I was trying to show you how to get this done. But again, it was inspired after real events. After your ship is set up and you have put on a set of armor and weapons, Real quick, this is a pet peeve of mine. You should always put on a set of armor and weapons. Armor is cheap. When you go buy it in bulk. Buy 10 sets of each and every piece of armor, each and every weapon, each and every attachment. Because you never know what situation could arise, and if you're unprepared for that situation, the scenario is going to turn out a lot different than what it could have been. Then you pick a route and cater to the scenario of where you want to find your potential target. This could be at Jump Town or an innocent bunker runner. Or in this case, I decided to find drug traders. There is no armistice in the drug trade zones, so it makes it very easy. The setting was perfect in this case. The comm array was already down, and there is nothing in global about piracy to spook anyone away. On entry, the point is to remain undetected. Avoid red flag behavior that could send your target running. Shut off your shields and quantum drive. This lowers your EM signature. If you see them, instead of targeting them right away, giving them a red beeping light in their cockpit, find them with your scanner and make your approach. As you get close, slow down and avoid the whooshing sound effect that your engines could alert the target, even if they're standing inside. Having cannons or scatterguns is nice here. If I ran Gatlings, the spool time and time to damage might be slightly longer, and every second counts when you're trying to surprise. In this case, the top hatch of the Connie was vulnerable, a couple shots and I'm in. The pilot was AFK in the seat, I shot him out of the seat, and the ship is mine. Now some might say that this sort of gameplay is not very fair, but as my last video pointed out, it's nice to have escorts to make sure this thing doesn't happen. But this is also not the exhilarating, heart-throbbing, adrenaline-pumping boarding action. There is no rush that happens with this one, but the boarding action with a live ship is a lot harder to pull off, as I'm about to show you. It is actually quite unlikely that you will find AFK pilots worth boarding. Most will be attentive and start to fly off as soon as you've shown a sign of ill intent. What you're about to see is a few ships that I know it is entirely possible to land in. However, it is interesting in this research that I've realized how lucky I really was to pull this maneuver off, and why it is pretty hard to do. Here are a few things. Jet wash. In Star Citizen right now, there is a unique situation that happens only when in close proximity to another ship. This is called jet wash. It is when you hit something from the other ship. It's easily explained as jet wash because it would be coming from the engines. You would hit the engines just like when you hit a body on the ground. With your engines, they go flying. The same thing happens with your ship. But the issue is not every ship sends the same jet wash behind it. And in some cases, the jet wash can be quite deadly. The second thing is this. I'm speculating here, but the experience I have had defends it. The simple math is this. If my target is going 789 meters per second, and now I'm going 790 meters per second, the difference is 1 meter per second. It's not very fast to catch up to your ship, but you get my drift. If I bump this ship, my thought would be that the transfer of momentum should be equal to the mass times the difference in velocity. So the mass of your ship times 1. Instead, and this is my thought again, the game calculates it as two objects hitting at 1579 meters per second. This would be mass times the sum of two velocities instead of the difference, even if they're going in the same direction. This is speculation, of course, but collisions are very weird in this game. For instance, a Nox that hits an 890 jump and takes it out completely. The last thing is this, red or damaged ramps. In order to bust the ramp open, you need to damage it. This makes it red. Now, I'm really confused why this happens, but even at lower speeds where both ships would survive an impact, if you touch, even barely, the ramp of your target's ship while attempting to board, it will result in the destruction of both vehicles. This is a handy way to get rid of a pesky A2 at Jump Town, but if your goal is boarding, this is a tough obstacle. So here's the how to pull it off. Step 1, force SCM. The target needs to be in standard control mode. This helps alleviate the problem of jet wash and enables you to make quick adjustments for your vector. As it is said in the PvP community, slow is fast and fast is slow. Forcing it alone is pretty hard. If you are solo, your only hope is atmospheric resistance, shooting out their engines, or that brief moment right before they quantum. For reference, here is an example shown on the screen.
Oh no, you're good. I just wanted to make sure Bobby gets that key to go.
You trying to go as fast as you can?
Yeah, pedal to the metal.
Caution. Target.
I don't have boost because I already expended it all.
Caution. Target friendly. Caution. Target friendly.
I can't go faster than 15 right now.
Caution. Target friendly.
Okay, there you go. Now I'm picking up speed.
Whoa, what's going on?
Oh, I'm falling.
Yeah, I think his engine is gone.
Yep.
The engines are just completely gone and I'm falling.
If you have a crew, it is highly beneficial to get them to slow the fight down. If the target has decided to fight, alert your crew and the other ships that you are ready and have them stop their momentum and take some damage whilst you board the ship. Ideally, your target will stop too and take advantage of the situation. Step 2 is simple. Blast the doors open. This is where it is crucial that you have ballistics because ballistics, again, go through shields. I typically run some cannons. I hit them with 2 shots and the ramp is open to me. Scatter shots work as well. In addition, if you are running ballistics, you can shoot out the engines much easier and faster because you don't have to get through shields. Step 3, line up and commit. I have found that the most times I have died, it was because I second guessed my own trajectory. I made an unnecessary adjustment and I blew up. While you blow up often in this maneuver, second guessing yourself will not help. Make sure that your vector is headed straight into the ship and commit to it and land. Your ship will take damage, but as long as you commit to it, you might survive. Step 4 is get up to the cockpit. Likely you will surprise your target, but as of now, they will get a notification that you have boarded the ship. If you are solo and they aren't too panicked, they will be ready for you. My advice is to do your best to be tactical. Find a spot and wait for them to make a mistake if you have noticed that the ship has stopped moving. If it hasn't, say they're still flying, they're still in combat, or they're in quantum, you are good to go up to the cockpit and shoot them. The ship is now yours, with all of its contents, its glory, and its bragging rights. Here is some advice. There are some useful keybinds that will help you with this. Set up an easy decoupled mode switch. Making a million adjustments in speed and trajectory is only being hurt by your ship slowing down without any input. If you don't know, if you are in coupled mode, every input you have is met with the same input from the computer, trying to slow your ship down to 0 meters per second. If you're in decoupled mode, you can match the other ship's speed and make adjustments and land accordingly. At the same time, it has happened to me that without coupled mode, my ship entered the geometry of the other ship, kept its speed, and slammed into the front of the ship, resulting in an explosion. Use 8 on your number bar. This is a default on your targeting system that sets your target to a component of the ship. And I'm not talking the shields or the quantum drive or anything like that. What I'm talking about is engines. If you need to slow your other ship down, hit 8 once and start shooting their engines. 8 once will get one engine, 8 twice will get the second engine, and so on and so forth. In addition, not only will your guns slave to this, your missiles will too. If you have missiles to use, send them at their engines. Why not? More than likely, these are going to be large ships, and your missiles may or may not hit. Any damage counts. In addition to this, just a little bit of a tidbit of information. Hammerheads, you can target their engines 1, 2, 3, 4, but on the 5th one, you're going to be targeting turrets. And you will find how squishy a hammerhead is when it's lost all of its turret gunners. And the last thing, this last little piece of advice, is be a good sport. You are landing in someone else's ship, but it is a risky maneuver. You will die often, and sometimes it will result in the other person's death. Ramming, though it is allowed in the persistent universe, it is a pretty scummy move. And I'm not talking about bumping or anything like that. I'm talking about legit ramming to kill the other ship. If you fail at this maneuver, you will be called out for ramming. Your pride and reputation could be called into question. Just say GG and say you're sorry. I've had to send the message several times. And maybe send a few credits their way. Find a funny amount of credits to send. Again, they were being pirated anyway. They were being attacked. They didn't bring escorts, so they were likely going to die in the first place. So you do not have to pay for their entire haul, but at least acknowledge that you made a mistake. And after this entire video of me telling you how to do this, let me tell you on how to defend against this. Defending against it is super easy. Have a few turret gunners. It is super hard to board a ship that is shooting at you. Additionally, if the door is damaged and then it shuts again, it can't be damaged open again. Have a keybind set to close exteriors or go into quantum, and your door will shut and it will not be able to be opened again until you repair. I hope you had a great time watching this video, and I really am excited to see more boarding actions take place within the persistent universe. Hey, look at this. You made it to the end of the video. I have an offer for other organizations. I love organizations in this game. I love people, and I love seeing how they work within a community. I would love to see your community and advertise it on my channel. I'm not here to spy on anything. You get to control the home field advantage. You get to see and tell me where I need to go, but I'd like to show you off. I'd like to see how you work and all these things. So please, if you'd like me to come tour your org, my calendar is already starting to fill in because there are org leaders that are excited to do this. So please hit me up, contact me in any way you can. Hey, this game is a great place to escape, but your life is a great place to live. So be there or be square, because if you aren't there, no one will see you around.